Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. It's time to make some trades. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and this is our last big trade video heading into the latter part of the season, the stretch run. So if you're in it, if you're out of it, or even if you're looking ahead in keeper leagues, we're going to do our best to help you make the right moves to do just that, which is success for the short and the long term. We're going to have all the success we possibly can. And Welsh, I want to start with a guy who's probably been one of the more disappointing assets that we've seen all season long. Mookie Betts, top 5 overall selection, just 11 home runs on the season, 6 RBI. And let's be honest, too, the last 30 days have not been kind to Mookie Betts. If you look at some of the numbers for him, he has just 1 home run over his last 25 games here for him. Actually, just 2 home runs, pardon me. He's hitting a .186 over that period. His OPS, Welsh, is .507. Now, I was concerned about Mookie Betts going into the season because he had that illness where he lost all the weight, and I thought, man, it's a long season. This seems like a bad situation. But then things started to go okay for him, but it has not been very good towards the end of June and beginning of July for Mookie Betts. But I want to bet on the talent of a player, and Mookie Betts is extraordinary talent. Hopefully, this all-star break is exactly what he needs to reset. So if I'm looking for a big-time impact bat, a guy who can do it all, I think Mookie Betts is worth that risk. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you too, because the sentiment around him too is just so bad. Just like, when you look at the first round, he is probably at the tippy top or like right at the cusp. I think Julio Rodriguez was one of those who we were buying in the last video that we did. But I think Mookie is kind of in that spot where the batting average has struggled. He's not stealing bases, the homer, everything just looks very mediocre. But a lot of the metrics are just still there. He's got an expected batting average that's 15 points higher. It's really one of the lowest he's had in the last like 5 or 6 years, but it is still higher. He's not striking out. He does this launch angle sweet spot thing where he gets the ball in the air, pulls it. He's doing a decent job of that. He's still got an over 90% zone contact, even if it's down. So it's like wherever the down ticks are, a lot of who Mookie Betts is still there. So if 95% of the Mookie that we know is still there, then I think it's in a safer place to start betting on like who we know him from before, which is, a 30+ home run guy. He struggled at home this year, which seems like a kind of a weird thing. I think he can bounce back. He's only 238 at home, which why that's important. They're one of the best ballpark for right-handed hitters for pull side homers. And that is something that he specifically does. I talk about launch angle sweet spot. He is able to hit the ball in a way where he gets it in the air and he drops bombs at home. And I think he's going to kind of get back to that. He's also weirdly struggled against sliders this year. Like oddly, it's like he's really, really hitting poorly, but expected batting averages really on most all pitch types are higher. So I think like we could talk about all the the logistics of why he's Mookie Betts. I think that's another way we put it. Like we know it's a Dodgers team who's going to go ham in the second half. Mookie Betts has always been a first round-ish talent. He's really struggling. I think people are letting go. And I think there are many metrics that are working in his favor to say that it is a good buy. So that's kind of the layman's way to just go about giving a little bit of justification on why you should buy a player like Mookie Betts.
I'd also be buying Roman Anthony over his first 100 at-bats in the big leagues. It's very easy to look and say, 2 home runs and 2 steals, 264 batting average, a 777 OPS. Nothing to really get excited about or see here, but I think that's wrong. I think if you look at what he's been doing lately, the last 15 games, he's hitting 373 over that span with a 439 OBP and a 525 slugging. Roman Anthony's starting to figure it out. The Red Sox are getting hot. Alex Bregman is back in that lineup now. I think this Red Sox renaissance is for real, and I think Anthony is going to be one of these guys I would even say is really in the thick of it. You can get 10-1 on him for Rookie of the Year right now in the American League. All of a sudden, Jacob Wilson's come back to the pack a little bit here in that race too. I could see Roman Anthony really making a run at this in the second half, especially if the Red Sox get carried not only to the playoffs, but maybe even, dare I say, the American League East title. I think Roman Anthony right now, this might be the last chance to buy him for any redraft league.
I actually like the betting angle to that too, because they're on a big run. He's an important piece of it. He's hitting, in a really important part of the lineup. His profile looks really great. 55% hard hit with a double-digit barrel. That is chef's kiss. That is exactly what you want. He's doing this all also while not getting the ball, really like pulling it in the air. He's got an 8% pull rate, which sucks, and his launch angle's 3. Like those are both bad. So that what I'm getting at is there's there's room for improvement on that. And as far as pitch types go, he's hitting over 280 against off speed and fastballs. His breaking pitches, he's struggling, but he's got an expected batting average. Or I'm sorry, it's the inverse. He's really beneficial on breaking pitches. It is the fastballs that it's like around 250, but an expected 285. So I just think the quality of contact, again, layman it back, like the profile looks good. The quality of contact is solid. And Roman Anthony is going to be a big piece of the Red Sox being successful in the second half. So kind of a good rookie buy right now and a great rookie bet.
Yes, I love the two of them. I already bet him to win that award. I bet Mizorowski too when he was 10-1. That's looking pretty decent. So fingers crossed. I learned my lesson last year. You know, I flew too close to the sun 2 years ago. I got them both right. Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, got the duo bet. It felt so good. I felt cocky, Welsh, but I was like Icarus last year, and I melted just way too early and on Rookie of the Year. So I waited till All-Star break-ish to get a feel for it, waited till June-ish, July, and then I'm making my moves. And my moves were Mizorowski, number 1, number 2, Roman Anthony, where you get him right now. Our last buy, and I know this is asking a lot because he's been here before, and I know he threw up another stinker this past week. I get it. But I can't get away from the deeper metrics on Dylan Cease. I just can't. He's got an 11 K per 9. His walk rate is still at a reasonable 3 walk per 9. His expected ERA is still so much lower than his actual ERA. His ERA is at 4.88. I can't imagine the Cease manager, and I have 0 shares this year. I can't imagine where they're at, the frustrations they're at, because the expected ERA is 3.6, the FIP is 3.69, and the xFIP is 3.43. All of these metrics continue to scream, give Dylan Cease a break. Hopefully he resets his brain and he comes back and makes some adjustments to whatever is not going well for him. Or maybe it's just dumb luck. I don't know. But I'm going to die on this hill this year. And I know I'm going to upset some people when I say buy Dylan Cease, but I'm going to buy him for the stretch run because there's not a lot of pitchers that I think have that kind of talent, that kind of upside that are going to be available via trade who have struggled consistently in that first half of the season. Cease is all of those things. But all of the deeper numbers scream that he could be better than what that 3-9 record shows you.
So this is a tough one, but I'm going to side with you on this. And this is, I'm going to take an L with it too, because we both brought up Dylan Cease like a month ago and it has not worked. And that's an L because he has not turned it around. But why this is doable right now is because he's at an all-time low. Dylan Cease, you know, as people were putting Zach Gallen out to pasture, people are now replacing that with Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease is done. He has not recouped a couple string of good games. He's got an almost 5 ERA. He's in, I think, the top 5 of worst qualified starter ERAs out there. Like, it's bad. He's giving up too many barrels. So the reason you can jump into those waters now is you're almost at the point where it's like you can only go up. I mean, hopefully not your ERA going up, but you can only go up. But also, to what you're saying, like the expected numbers are telling us still a story. Over a run, better expected ERA, around 3.5. His strikeouts are the same as they were last year, 29 elite %. He's not walking a whole lot more. He's just giving up a lot more barreled contact. But the difference now is that cost should be so much cheaper. So if you bought before, I think you got to kind of hold because it's not worth cutting bait. But he is at such a freaking low right now that I think, like, why not? You could probably get him for SPs that are in the 40s, probably some guys that you picked up off the wire at this point. That's where the level of frustration is. And there's still a really great second half upside for a guy like Dylan Cease.
Agreed 100%, man. Again, it's a leap of faith, but that's what you got to do to win championships sometimes. And sometimes price enforcing, like we talked about on talent, pays off. I mean, look at last week. We talked about Julio Rodriguez, buying him, Mr. Second Half. He had a pretty damn good weekend. So hopefully you listened last Tuesday when the show came out. Before we get to the guys we want to sell high on, don't forget about the trade analyzer. Don't make a move without the tools of Fantasy Pros. Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app is available wherever you get your apps, or just go to fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook. Remember, and you sync your leagues for free. You also upgrade. Right now, you get 6 months, take you all the way through NFL season as well as MLB and MLB playoffs. So right now, use the trade analyzer to help you evaluate all the moves you want to make in all of your fantasy baseball leagues. Again, Fantasy Pros is here for you. fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook, or just download the Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app today. Let's start with Caleb Durbin on the sell highs here, Welsh. And look, this is not a knock on what the kid's been able to do, because the kid has been really exciting. Caleb Durbin has been, I think, better than you could have possibly asked him to be. I just don't think it's enough. I think at the end of the day, we are still going to get a replacement here. And I still say Eugenio Suarez is that guy. So I don't want to knock what Caleb Durbin has been able to do. I think we can all step back and say, hey, good job, buddy. I mean, he's hitting 365 over the last 30 days. That's incredible. He's got 2 home runs. He's got a 908 OPS. I just don't know if that's exactly the Caleb Durbin profile, considering he's a 261 hitter this season. So I think the Brewers are for real. They're going to go get another bat. And I think Caleb Durbin, unfortunately, is going to be the odd man out. What do you think? I think this is the time to get out before the next 2 weeks hit and he gets replaced.
Yeah, I think what this speaks more to of is not that you can get a great value for Caleb Durbin and that you need to figure it out. If you're relying on Caleb Durbin, you probably need to get out. I think I agree with you. I think they're going to go and make a move. I think Suarez would be a great fit. Caleb Durbin can then become like a super util guy. I would feel different if I was seeing the Caleb Durbin that I saw in the AFL that broke the single season stolen base record all time. Even he's just not stealing at an incredibly great clip, but he is hitting well, hitting 346 in July, 296 this past month. I just don't think it's enough for them to make the commitment. So in that, I don't know if you can get a whole lot for Caleb Durbin. Sure, I would probably sell that. I think they're going to probably move on and he becomes more of a super util guy that I don't want to rely on.
Yeah, I think super util is probably very useful for the Milwaukee Brewers as they make their playoff stretch run here. Who's got the best ERA in baseball over the last 30 days? I bet you didn't know it was Lucas Giolito, 0.83. That's how good he's been over his last 5 starts, 32 innings, 21 hits, 33 strikeouts, 7 walks. Now look, this has been great. If you picked him up off the waiver wire, you can't possibly be happier than what Lucas Giolito has given you. But this is unsustainable. It can't possibly be this good for much longer. So I'm not trying to just completely run amok here and get rid of him, but when you're talking about selling players at their peak, this is it. This is the peak of Lucas Giolito. And if you think, what you saw in the beginning of the year was scary, and you're probably right, this is the time where you can flip an asset and get out from under Lucas Giolito. So I'm not saying you have to trade him. I'm saying this is the peak value. So Welsh, I know you've had a tough relationship with Lucas Giolito this season, but he has been absolutely brilliant over the last month or so. If you want to hold on to him, cool. But if you want to kick the tires on a trade where you can bring back something bigger in a package deal, this is your moment.
Yeah, I'm willing to kick the tires. I would say him being a 3.5 ERA guy is not unheard of. He was that for years and years back in 2021, but it's been a long time. He's becoming a completely different player. I do think he found a fix in his four-seam fastball. He's an important cog to the Red Sox right now. But as you said, there's an overrun higher expected ERA than his current, which would make him close to Dylan Cease's current ERA of 4.73. His expected batting averages against are pretty much all higher. He's already giving up a 290 batting average with his four-seam fastball, but all the other secondary stuff, it's quite a bit higher. So I have a little bit of worry that he's going to come back down to earth. I actually think he could still be relatively valuable, but if somebody is looking at that 3.3 ERA and the Red Sox winning and willing to overpay, I am going to listen because some regression does seem likely for Giolito.
All right, the last guy we're going to talk about here, and then we're going to give you some keeper love as well. Jose Berrios. I want to talk about him because I know he's just kind of like your league average pitcher. Some days are good, some days are less good, but looking ahead here, the last couple starts for him have been a little checkered for me. Hasn't been great. The last start against the Athletics on the road, not good either. So over his last 7 games, his ERA is approaching 4. Again, the expected ERA is higher than the actual ERA on the season as well. He's also been, worse on the road. He's got an ERA over 4 on the road this year. So to me, this is another one of these players where if I can flip Berrios for somebody who is more exciting, or dare I say more reliable on a consistent start-to-start basis, I'd like to do it because I think the overall picture is, hey, this is a solid pitcher on a contending team. But from a fantasy perspective, I think there might be other ways to go. What do you think about Berrios and what his value might be on the market?
100%. This has been on the trade articles we do on Fantasy Pros. I've had him recently, a couple weeks ago, that I completely agree. He kind of screams out to me. Mediocre is definitely the word I would use. We talked about some high barrel rates on pitchers. He's giving up 11% barrel rate. That's astronomical. That's ridiculous. Really a big hard hit stuff. He's given up his max EV against has been 118. It's over 90 average. His expected ERA is a full run higher. strikeouts are low. He has about a 12 K minus walk percentage. So he has a higher walk rate than he's had in 5 years. And his strikeout rate is only 20%. So like all that stuff just doesn't match up. I think he's going to get blown up a little bit. I don't like him in the second half. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Blue Jays are trying to win games, but this would be a guy that I'm definitely trying to move off of, hopefully in 1-for-1 value. But I think regression is coming for Berrios.
Yeah, I do too. And I have my concerns about if the don't tell Joe Rico if the Toronto Blue Jays can sustain what they've done here so far. It's been a fun story. It's been really good, but guys like Max Scherzer in that rotation, I just don't know if we can get there. And look, the strikeout rate for Berrios is 7.57 K per nine. It's not great. The walk rate compared to that 3.2 walk per nine, not great. And his expected ERA is 4.67 on that 3.75 ERA. So just to throw that out there, again, it's not quite as pretty as some of the flat stats make it look. When you start peeling back the layers of the onion, it starts to stink a little bit. So Welsh, for those people who are playing in leagues with keeper dynasty situations here where you're looking forward to next year, maybe the 2025 season did not work out for you, but 2026, we're on and we're thinking about the future. Who are some of the prospects or young guys that you'd like to acquire in those situations? I know I kept talking about Yuri Perez last couple of weeks. It's like, I think next year, this time, we're going to talk about him in that same conversation, like the Skeens type of guy. So that's mine. But is there somebody else for you, or maybe a player or two that you think is like, all right, you're looking forward to the future right now? These are some of the guys that I want to try to get my hands on.
Yeah, you've got great assets that help someone win now, and you got a top team who's trying to buy those, and you're trying to compete maybe for next season or the year after. Number one player I'm going after is Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin is going to be my number one overall prospect once Roman Anthony and Cags have full graduation. He was in the futures game. He is moving through the system like crazy. I don't know if he'll be viable next season because the Pirates aren't competing, but he is going to be at the top of the list. I'm also going to throw out to Kevin McGonigal. He might be number one or number two on a lot of lists. He had an injury early on in the season with the Tigers. He is flying through their system. He's a madman with the bat. I really like him. And then give you one other that I think is cool for a lot of people. Travis Bazzana. You have Cags and you've got Kurtz, you got Cam Smith, you've got all these guys that were just drafted that came up. Charlie Condon struggled. All of a sudden, he's in the futures game. Where's Travis Bazzana? Travis Bazzana's been out here hanging with me. He's been rehabbing. He's been hurt for a couple months. Out of sight, out of mind. He struggled a little bit in his AA. He got hurt, and all these guys have passed him. So I think he is in the back of people's minds, but I think he's going to get back running here. And his rehabs, he was hitting off a Noah Syndergaard, showing those leadership skills, taking walks, running, playing the field, trying to pull the ball. He's a heavy pull hitter. I think he's going to get back to it. Really, really smart kid. And I think it's a fantastic time to buy low on Travis Bazzana when people are kind of down because he's not doing anything and he got hurt.
Yeah, there you go. Last year's number one overall pick. You can buy low on him. That sounds like a good deal. All right, that'll do it for us. Happy trading, everybody. Make sure you make the moves you need to. And of course, don't forget to drop your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. You might win yourself a Juan Gonzalez autographed jersey from pristineauction.com. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Go win that championship.